Happy Friday, Friday the 13th. Let's make it a good one. Let's find some winners here. Noticed that this morning, Friday the 13th. Jeff, always good to start the weekend and kick the weekend off with you. End the weekend, start the weekend. Andrew McInnis, Jeff Dawson. We are live every single Friday. We're on Jeff's channel every Tuesday, breaking down things as far as NHL, CFL, MLB. Jeff, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to start with you first. But just overall, how are you and your thoughts on the Thursday night in the world of sports?
I got myself torn. Here, the ECSI VIPs, we give out Florida team total over 3.5, like we did in game three. I says it looks too easy, and we breeze in game three. Game four, 3-0 at the end of one, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, wow, it's that easy again. And as this game is going, I'm following social media and I'm seeing all the Florida fans, men versus boys. They pull Skinner. And I'm just saying in the back of my head, this Edmonton team is different this year. They're built different. This isn't over. 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, and then we go to the third. And then as this is going, I'm like, 4-3, first one to four. This is going overtime. Edmonton up 4-3. I'm ready to rip up my ticket. And honest truth here. On the Yahoo Sportsbook app, 4-3 final Edmonton. Posted.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, excuse me? And I went back. Because now I'm saying that goal got overturned. And I'm trying to figure out, how did this goal get overturned? I don't see. He wasn't in the crease. Long story short, we cash, of course. Wow, best of three, 2-2. And the one little fly in the ointment, Andrew, is Edmonton back to home ice, yet only minus 115. Vegas doesn't know what to do with this.
There's so much to get into here, and the fact is that the team totals keep on being the play. So hats off to you. There's nothing that makes me happier than seeing the team that I was cheering for and the guy that I'm cheering for both be able to win. And so I was happy you got a win, but also wanted the team that I was rooting for, the Oilers there. Yesterday was just a props day for me, but I will be involved in either the side or the total in game 5. So clients will get some plays there. The props, Jeff, at the start of the playoffs, I said I was going to give out props, and it's mostly been just a content piece for me. I've just continued to get them out because you know how it goes. I mean, I can mention 3 on the show, decide to give out 1 to clients, and I go 2-1 overall, and the 1 is the loser, right? And nobody likes you. So doing a lot of the props and keeping up with it, and it's a great talking point as well. But when I was on Sports Grid on Tuesday, I was saying to Gabe and Cam, like, no matter who you like, you might as well take it to 4. And especially with the Oilers, the price was plus 165 with the Oilers because, of course, they were underdogs in the money line in general with the game coming in, and it just had that feeling no matter who won the game, they were going to probably have to score 4 goals. First period over is now 4-0. Full game over is now 4-0 in this series. Sharp bettors having a tough time trying to be contrarians with the under the past 2 games, it seems. Even with the 6.5, even with the shaded towards the under, it still keeps going over the total. Skinner, look, I'm going to say this. I know that I'm sure people would challenge me on this a little bit. I know I've been the president of his fan club, Jeff, but anybody would agree, I think, that was just a morale booster. That was a typical like hockey changeup. That's the thing, is that I think that when you look at that, it was 2 power play goals, a turnover from the defenseman, and a wide open goal in front of the net. It's hard to blame Skinner. In fact, I think it could have been 3 or 4-0 after the first period if it wasn't for Skinner. But something people were saying at the intermission, some of the analysts, was that when you pull the goalie like that and the whole team knows it wasn't his fault, then they feel guilt and it fires them up. They feel guilty. The sad part is that, he's not going to play the rest of the playoffs. He's done. And Calvin Pickard now, the good news for him, he is undefeated in the postseason. He has never lost. The only reason why he had to stop being the goaltender was because he got injured as well. He got injured. So very, very interesting to see what happens. The fact is that Florida had a good game. Their star players came to play. The interesting thing is that Draisaitl and McDavid didn't do much in the game. at least offensively, until the end when Draisaitl scored that game winner. But two defensemen get on the board with a goal. The depth gets them the win, and that's what I was looking for. The Edmonton Oilers needed something, because from where I was sitting, it's easy to say in that 6-1 game, Jeff, but I mean, you could have put a bunch of names in a hat and picked them out and said this guy was going to score for Florida. But for Edmonton, it was only a few guys that were contributing. So it's interesting to see. And you mentioned that price. We're all about the prices here. Vegas is thinking, you know what? Florida's been a pretty good Game 5 road team. We don't really know what to think with this one. Good morning to Hal. Great to see you as always. He says, does everyone stop saying under game is coming? I'm not betting the under. I'll tell you that, Hal. Pickard 80-1 for Conn Smythe. LOL. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know if he's winning the Conn Smythe, but if he goes undefeated in the playoffs, he'd make a pretty funny case for himself, Jeff.
Well, it's funny. As I talked to you backstage, we released Edmonton pre-flop in this. We gave out McDavid, Conn Smythe plus 110. We gave out Leon Draisaitl plus 750 for the Conn Smythe as well. After Edmonton went up 1-0, we told all our ECSI VIPs, well, you might want to grab a piece of Florida plus 180. And then after Florida went up 2-1, I came back and says, hey, you might want to grab some Edmonton plus 210 here. Now it's 2-2. We hold hands. We sing Kumbaya. You win 80 cents. You win 2-1. Here we go. Power surge.
Hold on. I still got you?
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
We lost him. We'll get him back. We will get him back. But it is interesting, guys. I mean, the fact of the matter is here is that we're talking about a series that, was about to be 3-1. It was about to have a team go up 3-1. And just like that, it's tied at 2 games apiece, and Edmonton reclaims home ice.
Yes, and where I was going with this now, the best of 3, Leon's got himself set up. I think he's got now 4 overtime goals and 3 in this series. Not 3 in this series, 3 goals, 2 overtime. But my point is, it's going to be something here, Andrew. Does Bob now stand on his head? As you said, that Florida gritty, both teams have won on the road, and they've been here before. And is it the changing of the guard, or is this going to be some kind of history here, back-to-back, 3 of the last 4? We're blessed right now to be watching this series. I mean, you couldn't have a better Stanley Cup series. At this point, we're just cheering. We're having some fun. Going back to the unders, you would think now the last 3 games, it'll be interesting. Will they still stick with the 6? Obviously, they're not going to 7. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe it's not on Game 5. Maybe it's Game 6. If you saw a 6 over, maybe they go there and the public pushes it to 6.5. But the first 1 to 3's coming, probably Game 6 and 7. First 1 to 3 wins 3-2, or maybe empty net 4-2. But I think we're overdue for one of those grinders, Andrew.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that games 1 through 4 are typically the games we see the action. And then we're getting closer to these guys thinking about holding the Stanley Cup over their head. We're getting closer to them having that feeling. And so they better not start thinking about it. But when you start thinking about that, Jeff, you start playing tighter, not as loose. You start overthinking everything. Maybe you have a good chance to score, and instead you dump the puck in. So I'm not ready to jump in on that. Maybe it's less player props for me. Who knows with that? Good morning to Mr. Nebraska over here. Seth, always appreciate it, man. Happy to hit that 5% CFL play. Closed at 5.5, though, so went the other way. We hit the plus 3.5 on Winnipeg. Would have sprinkled the money line, except for 5% is the highest we'll go at Wager Talk. So I always will throughout the summer, but we catch that. So, Jeff, we'll get into game 5 here in a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on just kind of the team total stuff with the CFL, because you had a great start last week. And last night, I mean, I was a little bit surprised to see Winnipeg's defense put the performance up that they did. But when you look at this week, there's some good team total opportunities in the next few games that we have here available. And last week, I was envious of you because some of the games that I liked the over, well, it was one team that carried the weight. And so, especially in a league like the CFL, if you do like the over, you can take advantage and just take one team. Do you have any looks this weekend for the CFL? Anything the market's telling you?
I'm going to pull up the CFL on DraftKings right now. Bear with me here. Let's see what they have to offer for us this morning. Team props. I'm looking at Montreal right now. You can get their team total. The 26.5 number has worked well. Last night, the ECSI VIPs, and we talked backstage. I applaud your 5%. Should have followed your lead. 21.5. They were saying with the Blue Bombers, it looked too easy. I went the other way, 25.5. The second to last possession, the stop and go. The guy's wide open. He could have had a sandwich in one hand, a beer in the other, and he overthrew him. It would have been a 70-yard touchdown. We get there, but we're doing well with the team totals. If you like Montreal today, team total, you can go over 25.5, lay 15 cents, or 26.5 and plus 100 there. On the Ottawa side, they're not expecting a lot here. It's almost like a trap for me. Over 20.5 minus 110. So in an NFL thought process, get to 21, we're a winner here. This is like, but in the CFL with the ones and the twos, you just never know. But my point here is I lean Ottawa Red Black team total under the 20.5. If you wanted to lay some juice, under 21.5 is minus 145 right now in on DraftKings. Getting to that Calgary team, over 24.5 minus 115. I'm not on Calgary. I've been fading them already. I
I like
like
points in that game, Jeff. That's the one that I was looking at the over there in Toronto and Calgary. The number was 3.5. It's all the way down now. I think I saw 1.5. I mean, there's been some guys announced out for Toronto defensively. Calgary got a lot of money come in on them. And I was like, I kind of want to be a wise ass and just take Toronto now at a better number. But I think the over might just be the play.
Yeah, I'm looking at their team total right now. There's that 26.5 number, minus 110. I do think it will be a lot scoring. I listened to you and Gabe and Cam on Tuesday. I think, again, Gabe being very bullish on the Stampede. He liked what he saw. I don't mind anyone coming back with Calgary. I do lean the other side over the 26.5 on the team total. And then the last game, Saskatchewan and Hamilton. Hamilton got us both. That was our only loss on the team totals last weekend. You can get Hamilton. Again, I think their team total under 24.5 is minus 130, a little juicy there, where Saskatchewan's team total, they're expecting Saskatchewan to score 28 or better. If you like over 27.5 on Saskatchewan, and I think they'll get there. I think they get to 30, minus 110 there, Andrew.
I think we're going to see some exciting football the rest of the week here, Jeff. We are. And when you look, here's my take, and this is the thing, is that that I can be bitter about losses sometimes. We all can be in the sports betting world. But here's the deal. Calgary beat one of the worst defensive teams in the league. One that I bet on, for sure, Hamilton. But Toronto lost to the best defensive team in the league. So when you look at it like this, Calgary put up big numbers on a bad defense. Toronto put up minimal numbers on a good defense. I think that, sure, we can be impressed with Calgary's offense. In fact, I think Calgary's offense can be better. Their quarterback had 0 passing touchdowns. All the touchdowns they scored were special teams or running. So I think that Calgary's going to get their points. But Toronto, so it's been deemed that Chad Kelly is not going to be playing again this week. It's going to be some LTIR type of stuff in the CFL with Chad Kelly. They're going to save him until week 4 or 5, it seems like. But Arbuckle can't be any worse. And I know that's the famous last words, but some of the articles I read, because I actually didn't get to watch that Toronto game last week. I watched the highlights, but everybody was saying, I mean, he can't be much worse. It was a horrible fumble, this interception, that interception. He's got weapons on offense. And if they can get the ball moving, I think we're going to see points in that game overall. So maybe instead of me getting burnt by Calgary 2 weeks in a row, I take the over, or I take the Toronto team total over, and we just hope for points, because that way I don't have to worry about who wins. And if something happens similar to what happened with you last night, I don't care who wins the game. It's just about get me to a certain number for the team. And the Hamilton one's so interesting because, we try to be contrarian, right? Like last night betting on Chris Strevler. I got the money line price on Montreal, so I'm not backing the team with the backup quarterback, but I got ahead of it before the announcement was made. But of course, we got an injured Saskatchewan team. I don't think AJ Ouellette's going to play, but I did see videos of him practicing. They signed a new running back. They've got, their defensive players were hurt, and then Hamilton gets embarrassed, allowing like 38 points. So it's like, how much is this team better at home? How much is this team going to bounce back after a horrible loss to Calgary? There's so much to figure out there with that one. That game should be tighter, in my opinion. Saskatchewan, Bobby and I on our CFL show, Jeff, we always joke around about the word power rankings, right? And people that bet in CFL and the TV people, they don't understand what that means, because there's sometimes the CFL will just put out their power rankings and it's just the standings. Like, right? It's just like, this team is in first place. This is why they're the number one team in our power ratings. So it's a little bit different when you look at Saskatchewan. I liked them, but they were 7-1 to win the Grey Cup at the start of the year. They weren't plus 300 or plus 400. They were 7-1 for a reason.
1,000%. And again, you said something great all week, and it's so true. It happens in the NFL. It happens in college football. It happens in the CFL. Overreaction after the first week. And, I always say the public remembers what they saw last. Well, going into last night's game, the one caveat was, Winnipeg had the pie. So we didn't know what to expect. And here the whole time in my head, if you go back to last week in BC, they didn't play a good first half. And then they scored on their first 3 possessions. So I felt comfortable the whole time with that BC team total. Rourke was awful. Turnover, dinged up, yada, yada, yada. And they can't stop the run. So obviously. But again, now you got to judge what you saw last week to the opening numbers in the market, Andrew, to now the steam. Am I following the steam or am I not? If you followed the steam yesterday, well, you lost. So if you're following the steam today, just be careful.
Be careful. Be careful. And it's tough to say sometimes what's going to happen with these teams, and also following the injuries and the overreaction, as you mentioned. I mean, with Winnipeg, we didn't know what to see because, like you said, they didn't play. So we don't really know. And BC, I think they're a great team. How about this? It kind of reminds me of the NHL when a team like San Jose would get rolled by a team. That team could get a false sense of confidence. And sometimes if it's like you look at the Elks, the CFL always thinks they're a better team, and so do the bookmakers every year. But guess who BC played in week 1? Did we all think that BC was this, team that is going to steamroll everybody and play against the team that went to the Grey Cup for the last 5 years after they play? Like, if I was the schedule makers, I feel like I'm being sneaky. We're like, okay, we're going to give them Edmonton to start the year off. And then we're going to sneak in the Blue Bombers off a week 1 bye and see how they deal with that, because Edmonton didn't look great, but BC had a great second half performance against them. So it's interesting to see. And then week 3, of course, we'll get a chance to have already seen every team. So that'll be interesting to look at. But one thing that I'll throw out there, I'm right there with you on the Toronto team total. I like that, whether it's the full game over, a Toronto team total, or, even looking at Calgary. I would look at their rushing props. Toronto's rushing defense hasn't been great over the years. Their passing defense is good, but their rushing defense hasn't been that great. All right, real quick, I got to ask you, I've been asking you this every Friday, and I have fun doing it. I don't want to put you on the spot ever, but I know you're always locked and loaded. who is treating people well right now in the MLB, and who are people frustrated with? Because all I know is the Tigers keep winning, and some of these bad teams are actually starting to win as well. I've seen the bookmakers have made some money back on the Rockies and some of these poor teams. What's going on right now in the majors?
Well, as you said, the Tigers keep winning. Cy Skubal, I saw something so crazy. After his first two starts of the year, which were mediocre for most people, no, actually good for most people, mediocre for him. His since the first two starts, he's got like 105 strikeouts and 3 walks. The guy is unhittable at this point. But you can't get into him. In other words, the first fives they're doing minus a half, minus 80 cents, 90 cents. Or I've seen some places in some of these matchups minus a full run in the first five, which is unheard of. As you said, the Rockies had won 3 in a row. We get into San Fran team total opening game in Colorado. Got stuck on stupid at 6 with guys in scoring position in the ninth. Of course, they blow over the team total in game 2. Yesterday, the Rockies of all teams scored 3, I think it was in the ninth, to come back and win 8-7. The Yankees have been doing very well for a lot of people. Judge prop homers keep coming in. My Red Sox is frustrating as ever. The Orioles hit or miss, and it's funny because I knew at some point you're going to ask me for a team total here, and of course I'm looking at it, and who am I saying tonight? Baltimore Orioles team total over 5.5. They're at home against the Angels. Kochanowicz versus Ground Chuck Charlie Morton. You can get Baltimore team total over 5.5 tonight at plus $100.
Love it. Love it. And you know what? Those 4.5s and 5.5s are the best at the plus money. Forget about the 3.5s. I never like taking a team total over 3.5, or even the 4.5 juiced over, Jeff. It's like the same thing with hockey. We love that plus 105. The most success I've had with team totals in baseball this year is 4.5 over plus 105. It's my favorite. The plus one, I don't know what it is. The plus 105 is that magic price, that magic number. All right. Before we get your Stanley Cup Game 5 pick, anything you want to throw to us, doesn't have to be an official side or total, but anything that you want to mention, shows you've got going on right now, deals, packages for the next couple days, next month, whatever you have. And then while you're letting us know, just remember, you got to give us a Stanley Cup Game 5 pick here.
All right. In 1/2 hour, we'll be live every Friday at 11 a.m. The NCAA Insiders come on. They're live in Omaha for the College World Series. The final 8 are playing starting today. I think at noon or 2 o'clock is the first game. Matt Grissom, Quentin Mills, Nick Hathcote will be live in the VSiN studio, who has set up shop there in Omaha. Derek Stevens brought 34 people from Circa and VSiN. NCAA Insiders have partnered, so we're going to be live with them at 11 a.m. there. Go to ECSportsInvestors.com. Top right corner is plans and pricing. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Take the retail price, take it out. So we're going to give you 2 options here. $3 a day, $99 a month. It's your own ECSI VIP experience. All our plays sent to you via text to your cell phone and email. No timestamps. We wait for the best numbers. We have a delivery service second to none. As soon as we spot something, boom, we send it to you, whether you're at work, the gym, golfing, or you're sitting there with the wife or the girlfriend and your phone goes off. Who was that, honey? Oh, no, that is spam. That's us. Or if you're looking for a long-term package, and we're halfway through June, so June, July, August, September, October. And why do I say October? Because we want to take you through the start of college football, the start of the NFL, of course, and then we want to take you right through the MLB playoffs and World Series. So that's basically 5.5 months, $3.99. Anyone interested in that, saving some more money? Less than $3 a day. It's like $1.89 a day. Follow me on EC Sports Invest. Send me a DM or send me an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. We'll get you set up for today. We already got some college baseball that we sent out last night. We're right there. Per DraftKings, we got the top two favorites in the U.S. Open. All sports. We don't specialize, say, price for baseball, price for hockey, price for NHL. It's
All
all
together.
sport. It's all together. And as Stanley Cup Game 5, oh, God. I'm going to say Edmonton holds serve. I'm going to say 3-2, 4-2, and then I'm going to go back. Our pre-flop was Edmonton in 6. We'll be back by, when's Game 6, Andrew? Tuesday?
Tuesday night. I'll be on your channel Tuesday.
So I'm going to go that we will be talking on Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern that Edmonton is up 3-2, and we're talking about, is Connor McDavid going to hold the Stanley Cup up? Is Leon Draisaitl plus 750 going to win the Conn Smythe?
I sure hope so. And guys, I have literally been on the golf course when Jeff has sent me a play, and it cashed in the first 2 innings before I even finished the front 9. Jeff, love starting the weekend off, closing out the week with you. Enjoy the rest of the day, and cash those college baseball tickets.
We'll do our best, sir.